Yo, so I'm back with a new haircut, a little spiky, pretty cool. Again, always blowing shit off my camera. And I decided to do something I really haven't seen on YouTube, so I hope this gets me some hits. I have a list with a bunch of things to search on the internet and YouTube with the black and Havoc looking Iron Man face. So I'm going to read these. And I'd say it'd be a good idea to subscribe if you're interested in any of these topics. Okay, so let's decide what to start with. December 22nd of this year, 2012, supposedly the end of the universe, the world, existence as we all know it in every shape and form. I personally think it'll be a little bit more of a transformation, and things could be better or worse. I don't know. There were a couple rumors about Blair Witch Project 3. The only thing I liked about the rumors is that the fucking show The Blair Witch. Prometheus clips, I already tore into the movie, so that's kind of irrelevant. Skyfall, the new Bond movie. The Fourth Kind. It's about alien abductions. And I feel by watching these movies about aliens and alien abductions, I can further, detail what happened to me. Because what happened to me is, I was lying in my bed. It was early enough to be, light enough so I could see in my room. And I saw some kind of figure, really crouched down, put this very long metal thing in one of my nostrils. And I know it was circular, so it might have actually been removing something. As well, it could have been putting something in. I don't know. That also goes with Whitley Strieber's Communion. Cannot look at that cover and not have nightmares. The almond-eyed alien. Even though the skin's not really gray, and then that would just make me lose my shit. I don't know. I think for a guy like me, I have the most interest in things that frighten the hell out of me. I put this here today: Iron Man 3, The X-Files, Wes Craven's They, The Village, What Dreams May Come, White Noise 1 to 2, Paranormal Activity, Lacey Green's series of Sex Plus videos, Saw 1 to 7, Dogma, everything Resident Evil, House on Haunted Hill, the 99 version, Out Cold, about snowboarding, and on the flip side, Grind, about skateboarding, MTV's Undressed, all Ghost in the Shell. I love that. I love cyberpunk, and, doing it anime style really put it over the top. Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century, 1, 2, 3. Linkin Park instrumentals and remixes. Oh, I didn't read this one. Pandorum. Kamen Rider Wizard, Johnny Tsunami, Kaylee Cuoco, The Faculty, Cowboy Bebop, the anime, Tara Bright, who did the cover of Safe and Sound as like a pop-punk, Nintendo punk type thing. It was really cool. The Devil's Advocate. Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino. Need I say more? Let's see if there's anything else. Anything on the back? No, that's pretty much it. I made the list a while ago, so I suggest that if you're interested in any of those things, subscribe to my channel, because I gotta work for the copyrights, but I'm soon going to be putting a walkthrough of Resident Evil 6 once the game's out. How to mod your PlayStation 3 so you can have different color joysticks, different color LEDs, different color different startup screen. If you want it to be like, like the James Bond walking, and shooting through the gun barrel, you can have that. It's a little more technical because it involves programming. I'm not that great on programming, but I can hack a little, literally. So how to fully trick out your laptop for under 10 grand, and I know that's a lot of money, but you probably paid, I'd say, a quarter of that price for the laptop, so I don't know. But no Apple products. The only Apple product I will accept modifications of are iPods. They're the only ones I like. Fuck whatever OS Mac is using, Leopard, Tiger. Windows just says 7. Vista. There was one that was more for the developers recently, and it was, shit, I can't think of the name. Not Violet. Azure. Which leads me back to a really old torrenting program called Azureless, something like that. And that's kind of funny because BitTorrent's been out forever. I just should have used that. When you have to do a lot of unpacking and archiving, sending files to certain drives, it's just easier, and it's actually spelled out in plain day. You can go into File and, List and stuff. Oh, and iTunes for the Apple stuff. It's a little bit, I don't know, it's easier for me. And also knowing that, you get to have copyright shit. Instead of going out, buying the physical album, burning it onto your Windows Media Player list, that's way more of a hassle where I could just, sit and eat potato chips and, download a couple albums, or movies, or podcasts. I mean, out of those choices, you tell me which one's more easy. Yet another paper. So this is, Amazing Spider-Man 2. The villain's the Green Goblin. Well, this is what I want. And an introduction to Harry being Peter's friend. Amazing Spider-Man 3. End of Green Goblin arc. Death of Gwen Stacy. I hope that, I haven't seen the current movie, but if she dies in the first movie, shit, that's too soon. Peter meets MJ, probably going to college, and Harry finds out Peter is Spider-Man. Just like the comics, they dragged that out, but in the original Sony films, he found out as soon as the second film, which was a little too soon for me as a hardcore comic geek. Oh, must be covered. in Phase 2 all the way to Phase 3. Wow, that's going to, like, go into, like, 2017 to, like, 2020, I guess. Civil War trilogy. I think with where they're going with the films, how the costume designs are being made, and the actors and actresses that are being chosen, they're really making Phase 2 so far, good. So Civil War, and it's an epic, it was in every Marvel comic, and they just had a general Civil War comic. So I would say that'd be best done in a trilogy. Excuse me. The other, and again, it's where Spider-Man gets all the new powers. He gets, the bones, like the spider stingers. They're basically bones protruding under the hands, kind of like an interesting variation on Wolverine. He's more agile, he's stronger, he's got new powers like seeing in the dark. He can feel what's on a web that he would make, like tensile web feeling. His whole body can stick to surfaces now. He saved a kid from a fire by sticking her in a web wrap on his back. And that's exactly what mother spiders do. They carry the young on their back. Well, some species. Let's see. 3 is just simply titled Symbiotes. I think, if they're going to make a Spider-Man 4 and 5 and 6, then they have a chance to redo the symbiote thing and get it correct. But I'm absolutely wondering how they could place Carnage in a movie without making it R. And I know that Marvel right now are stuck on PG and PG-13. And number 4, but not out of the 1, 2, 3s, and 4s, like not the most or least important, Iron Man Extremis. And I have here marked down a trilogy. And they're going to kind of do that with Iron Man 3. New Avengers. So we could get a team of all the current Avengers and add Wolverine. I've seen a lot of fan drawings. The only thing I think, well, I know because it's from the Sony movies, they couldn't use the other costume, which leads me to believe that they'll have something, more of the, mostly yellow and navy spikes on the side, which would be fucking incredible. I do know that, as of now, they're shooting for a 2013 release for the movie The Wolverine. And it's going to be Wolverine the way it should have been done, with an R rating. It's going to be bloody and gory and really supremely violent. I mean, if you've seen the attack in, the Marvel vs. Capcom series, Berserker Barrage, he just tears up that whole screen, even if the enemy's not there. So, I guess they're going to handle Extremis in one movie, even though the new Mark 8 Iron Man outfit's like a cream, silver, gold that only really does look gold in dark lighting. I don't know. There will probably do other armors in the movie, the Mark 9 and the Mark 10. But I don't really like how they're combining aspects in this, weird gold color armor of Bleeding Edge with those little things leading down into the legs. I don't know. I think they should take it one armor at a time. Extremis, and then have that evolve into a Bleeding Edge storyline. And New Avengers, so that they wouldn't just have one group. They'd have the East Coast and West Coast, the Mighty Avengers, and stuff like that. And I'd love to see Spider-Man and Wolverine eventually join the core team. And it would probably be all the way out to Marvel's Phase 3, which nobody outside of Marvel probably has an idea of what they're doing. Hopefully they can remake Blade, and I'm really wanting an Iron Fist movie and a Black Panther movie. And oh, okay, so the new Avengers I have written here, parentheses, Avengers 2 and 3. And in actuality, they did introduce a title card for Avengers 2. Now, whether it's a fake, I know at Comic-Con they talked about, they showed Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man 3, why am I forgetting? Ant-Man, which never interested me at all remotely before. I only cared about Ant-Man because he was an Avenger. And that's, you know, my new favorite team. I grew up on the Uncanny X-Men back when they were uncanny. Just because of the sheer diversity of the powers. But I guess I moved to the Avengers because, well, I'm such a hardcore Iron Man fan. I have more red in my fucking wardrobe and, you know, black shirt. Yeah, why the hell is that the most shirts depicting comic or anime characters, aside from a couple ones like Rurouni Kenshin and Naruto, which is going on a little too long. I think they should end it. Not because I don't like it, but there has to be some kind of decisive end. They're on, like, volume 60, if I recall. Let's see, wishes. For the Amazing Spider-Man, I would like that he would go back to the goddamn original costume. And I'd love to see, like, special things like Iron Spider and, you know, the proper symbiote costume. But I do know that, you know, as an action movie fan, sci-fi, horror, all that, I'm so used to basically seeing anything that I'm absolutely 100% satisfied with the R rating that the Wolverine is getting. It's not going to be Wolverine Origins 2. And I like what they're doing with the story because it just works. They're pulling directly from the comics, having him be roaming around Japan. You know, he's going to meet up with Yoriko and, you know, fight with her for a while until she turns into the new Lady Deathstrike, not the Kelly Hu Lady Deathstrike. And, you know, hopefully with a Lady Deathstrike outfit, of course it's going to be dark colors and shit, but I hope they have, like, the sashes over. She's got that, like, beanie looking thing. And she's got, you know, like, little computer chip looking things all over. That's the Lady Deathstrike I like. And if they could do that, and considering there's no constraints, well, I guess they're just very limited in an R movie. But if they could successfully make that a trilogy, then that's a good chunk of Wolverine's mysterious backstory. It's always mysterious and shit. Your mind goes to dark places, and you wonder why I keep so much from you. That's basically like Wolverine in a nutshell. He has done some of the most crazy, batshit, crazy, things a mutant has done, yet he still has an incredible curiosity about his past. At least, Hugh Jackman in, I'll give X2 for an example. When Iceman froze the wall between him and Stryker, he could still hear his voice, and he was, starting to remember those little things. Let me just say that I have no clue whether in the comics it was an adamantium bullet that Stryker shot him with in the head, which would make him forget. I don't know, I kind of think, you'd shoot him, it would pop out, in X3, and he'd heal real quickly and just get back up, and probably just rip the shit off of him. I mean, rip him limb from... I want to see, Stryker versus Wolverine, and I want to see Stryker helpless, and I want to see, maybe some interesting, a Blade cameo. Because, Blade can go crazy too, but as long as he has a serum, he can't really be his true vampire hybrid self. Which leads me to another thing. Kristen Stewart. I saw this, I was just generally searching on YouTube, and then there's this thing where she's a stripper. And it's got that dude from, not Godfather, Sopranos, I think. I don't know, I just know that she was being sluttier, and, she was wearing much skimpier of an outfit than I'm used to her in, and I was like... The thing is, if I really did have that kind of chance where I had celebrities that I could sleep with, I don't know if I'd really sleep with her. I guess I'd fool around a little bit. But I guess a lot of people can say things like this, people have posed the question, if there were a clone of yourself, would you have sex with yourself? And they try to make it more appealing. Well, what if it was female, And that's how I feel about Kristen Stewart and me in bed. Because I feel like we're real similar. And in fact, she reminds me of a couple family members who have just the same sense of humor. And I can say awkward, but then on the other side of the spectrum, where there are no no's, there's Kaylee Cuoco, and I tend to shoot chicks down if they have a boob job. It's always obvious for me, and I guess if I would have caught her in her 8 Simple Rules days, she probably wouldn't. Which is interesting because she supposedly used the money, from her final paycheck to get a boob job, and then went on Big Bang. Well, considering Jimmy/Johnny Galecki, who plays Leonard, had a real-life relationship, I don't know, if we ever met up, I'd question what it's like. I mean, because in reality, you're not getting these characters you see on the screen. You may be getting a little bit of it. They say, oh, I can do this for real. So, it would add to the character. But yeah, I mean, I'd I'd really rent Kaley Cuoco. So, peace, love, chicken grease. Don't slip on it. You don't fall. You're still making a pretty good dish. Always got shit on my phone. I'm all alone. I don't know. I want it all right now.